All right, guys. So I want to welcome you to another session with Coach Kier. Um, Good night to everyone. Thanks for the shout outs. And as you know, for the last couple of weeks, we've been focusing on a specific strategy, right? This is a strategy that we're going to stick to, we're going to grow with, and we're going to use to break down every signal that you get from the company, every signal that you get from your organization, every signal that you receive. You should be able to trade it based on the confirmations from the strategy, right? Now, the strategy is simple, but it requires practice, right? So when I finish training on a Sunday, on a Tuesday, right? You guys should be able to go to YouTube, watch the recording, and head over to your trading view and practice. If I send out drops on the Telegram chat that I have, hopefully majority of you are already in the Telegram chat because they have, I think, is over 200 persons in there. If I send out markups on there, you guys should actually go to your Telegram, to your trading view. You should go to your trading view and mark up the charts as well, right? Because what you want to do is to ensure that you understand what it is we can see the trade going in a buy or a sell, and that's key. Anybody, and I often tell persons this, anybody can send you a signal. Anybody can send you a signal, and you can trade any signal. All you need is your strategy. And once your strategy confirms that move that you have received from that signal, then nothing is stopping you from taking the trade. But your strategy needs to line up with the signals that you receive. Guys, so again, tonight we're going to focus on key levels, right? Particularly, I want to focus on entries tonight because the last couple of nights, the last couple of sessions that we had over the last couple of weeks as well, I was focusing on key levels. I still am going to do it, but I'm not going to go into depth about understanding key support and resistance on the daily time frame. You guys should know the rules, and if you don't know the rules, then I would repeat them for the benefit of those who are new to this call, right? So that you can make note of it, right? But I believe that the strategy that I have given to you guys and that I'm going to give you tonight is the core to trading, right? Is the core to trading, right, guys? So just remember that you need to understand support and resistance in order to trade. Don't let anybody come and tell you that support and resistance is not important, because it is, right? So we're going to get straight into the session tonight. I was just giving it some time for us to get some more persons on the call, right? So we're going to start in 1 minute, guys, but let me remind you to follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Coach Kier, so you could easily find me on there if you search Coach Kier. I'm going to send the YouTube link in the chat. And it's key for you to follow and subscribe to my pages. The reason why is that I send out a lot of value. Everything that we discuss on this call, I post on YouTube. Every single thing, right? So, you know, if you miss something during the live session, you can actually go over to YouTube and you can watch it. When you bring persons into your organizations, people that are new to trading, or even prospects that you want to pique their interest, you can use this content in order to get persons understanding what is trading and understanding a strategy that they could use for any product that they are interested in with regards to the IM Academy, right? So, for example, a lot of you guys would have started with the platinum package, right? The platinum package gives you access to the harmonic scanner. If you use the strategy that I teach you guys on a weekly basis, I can guarantee you that your trades on the harmonic scanner will be way better than they probably are right now, right? A lot of you guys use steady, you use swipe trades, swipe coin and stuff like that, but just remember, the core is understanding key levels. So if, for example, you decided to go for, I think steady called out USD chef yesterday for the sell and it still continued to go up, or your JPY for the sell and it still continued to go up, and it was a market execution, you probably don't understand why is the trade having me in so much drawdown. If you guys actually had looked at the daily time frame, you would notice that there's still some room that trade could continue, right, to the upside before it actually reverses. And I told you guys as well that when you're looking for a sell, you need to identify a pattern that says sell me, basically, right? If you can't identify a sell pattern, do not sell. Don't sell just because somebody called a sell and you feel that news is going to come out right now and cause the markets to crash and you're going to miss the opportunity. No. Although news happens, I'm going to be very honest with you. Before news, the market actually sets up. And that's the truth. And some people don't even recognize that. You'll be going into a trade for a buy because news about to hit, US news tomorrow, GBP news tomorrow, and so on. And you're going in for a buy because you feel like, you know, the trade is at support and I can see again some momentum to the upside. So I'm going to go into for my buy. And then the trade literally drops 50, 70, 100, 150 pips. And you know why? It's because you either missed the fact that it was setting up a continuation flag to the downside. You missed the fact that there was a pattern being formed to sell, right? Or you literally did not understand the overall trend of the trade, right? So let me just get straight into it. Let me share my screen so that as I talk, you guys can understand what it is that I am talking about, right? So before I go into what I am looking for this week to happen, let's look at some trades that we got from Steady, right? Now, Steady called a sell on EJ yesterday, right? Now, when it called the sell on EJ, it was somewhere around here, right? Let me put an actual something. So it was somewhere around here, right? When it called the sell. Now, I want you guys to know that the market respects key levels. All right, the market respects key levels, right, guys? So, first thing that you need to identify is, yes, this is a level because you can see that this is a rejection zone here, right, on the left-hand side. However, please do not forget that when the market is coming back up, there are lower highs that it needs to break in order to confirm if we are in buyer's territory or seller's territory, right? So this is a level, this is an area here. I can't say that this exact line is support equals resistance because yes, I have rejection here, right? Yes, I have rejection here and I have rejection here. But what about further up? What about here? And what this tells me is that the market still has room that it could go to the top of this area, right? So what I am going to do, and this is why I often tell you guys, when you're identifying support and resistance, please do not do it with a line, with a horizontal line. Always mark it out as a rectangular box because you will be able to say, okay, there's a possibility that the trade can continue up maybe for another 10, 15, 20, or 30 pips based on the daily time frame, right? So a steady calls out a sell on your JPY I want to see that the sell is at a major key level, right? So I'm coming here and I'm going to say, okay, I can understand why is he called it sell here, right? Because when I look here, this is a key zone, right? This is support equals resistance right here, right, guys? No, there's a couple of things that you still need to bear in mind, right? The first thing is, this had a huge impulse. Look at the momentum of this push. Yes, we pause at this key level. But before I could decide that I want to sell this trade, I need to identify a sell pattern. Now, looking at the daily structure alone, I can see here, okay, well, this looks as if this is forming a bullish flag, right? You have the impulse, and this, right, just looking at the daily alone, this looks like a bullish flag. So there and then, I am going to tell myself there is an opportunity that this momentum can continue, right? So I need to come down to my lower time frames to see if there's any pattern that is forming other than this that signals to me this trade is actually going to pull back or something before it continues to the upside, right? Good. Because everybody should be able to tell that the overall momentum of your JPY is that it's going up, especially from the daily time frame, right? So when it comes down to the 4-hour time frame, I need to identify a reversal pattern. I need to be able to see either an M pattern or a head and shoulders pattern. Like, I need to see that. Those are the two at resistance that definitely cause me to think, yes, we are going to sell, right? So I need to see an M pattern, right? Because then I know I'm gonna get this, and then I know I can look for that, right? But bear in mind that even if I identify a pattern, right, how we work out stop orders is based on, sorry guys, go back there, right, is based on the 4-hour zone. Every time frame that you're looking at is going to have its own zone. The one that is really important to you is the daily and the H4 zones. Because you know, if you're at daily support or daily resistance, it's going to sell, like, or it's going to buy really hard, right? Because it is at a higher time frame, right? So you're going to have more volume, right? Now, for me, I am not entering this trade, even if I see a potential M, I am not entering this trade until it then breaks my miniature support. I want to sell the trade. I am not going to enter up here. Some people do that. Some people utilize it from the top so that by the time it comes down here, they're already in profit. Fine. But me personally, I need to know that the trade definitely going in that direction. And if I can't see a pattern, I am not trading it. And you would realize that if you start to do this with your trading, right, you will become more profitable, right? So I am going to come here and say, look, this trade needs to break this H4 support here, because right now we are ranging, right? It needs to break this H4 support for me to then say, okay, well, yes, this is an M pattern. I'm looking for the continuation, right? I saw the double top. Someone is drawing on my screen. If you don't mind just removing what is you drew. Someone put 3. If you could just remove this, the 3 lines that you drew on my screen. All right, let's go again. There we go. So what we are looking at is that I am going to either say, okay, look, I'm gonna do a sell stop, and my sell stop needs to be well below my support zone here on the H4, right? So I'm probably gonna give it a little room just in case it spikes and comes back up, right? So I need to take that into account. So my sell stop is gonna be well below my support, so that I know for sure if it breaks my support and it activates my sell stop, it definitely going into a sell. But I just don't want you guys to just place sell stops. I want you guys to identify a pattern. I don't like how your JPY looks right now. I cannot see a head and shoulder pattern. I saw a potential M, but then it got invalidated, right? Based on what happened after. So I am not seeing a setup right now that says sell me, right? And even when it comes down to the 1 hour time frame, as I say, yes, I see the M pattern, but it got invalidated, right? Because since then it formed a W, a V. I don't know what is this, so I am not trading it. And this is how I want you guys to start to trade. This is how I want you guys to start to analyze signals that are sent to you and your own analysis, where you say, look, I could see that we're at a key level, but I'm not selling and I'm not buying unless I can identify a clear pattern that says sell me or buy me, right? The next one that we had was USD Chef, right? Now, I know a lot of you guys, if you were paying attention in the Telegram group, I was looking for USD Chef to sell for the longest time, right? No. Let's go through USD Chef. All right. So we can see that we have over here, we have a resistance here, 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 right? So this entire area here is a zone, right? It's a zone. The only disadvantage to this entire area is that if you realize right now that we having some rejection here, because we have to identify the entire zone, there's a possibility that the trade can come higher before it reverses, before you get that sell. So that is key to understand, that this entire area is a zone. And you have to remember that the banks are going to trick you, right? Because it pays. You lose, we hit a whole heap of stop losses, somebody else wins, that pays somebody else. Somebody has to lose in order for someone to win. So therefore, when you're trading, you need to be smart, right? You need to be smart, right? And you need to identify these types of areas. So what are we going to do now? We know that steady called out a sell, right? But I have to take into account that this is quite a big area here that we can see where USD Chef was more or less ranging for some time, right? Every time we come here, we do get a rejection. So the case here already is, okay, every time the trade comes up here, it sells really hard, right? So we already know that. What we do need now is confirmation that it's definitely going to sell, right? So first of all, you know that the area is quite big, because if it looks this big on the daily, you can imagine how it looks on the 1 hour time frame. So this has the potential that if the banks wanted to trick us out of USD Chef, they could literally carry it to here and then drop, right? Because a whole heap of stop losses literally is at the top here, right? Where this sell started, I am sure that persons right now are looking for the continuation of this sell based on this pullback that happened, right? So therefore, a lot of persons are going to have their stop loss above this previous high. So the banks could literally say, you know what, let's spike USD Chef to come to the top of our resistance zone, right? Knock out all of those stop losses, and then we're going to sell. It's called I think it's called an industrial candle. I'm sure it's called an industrial candle. I could double check that for you guys next week. Whereas the candle comes out here and it literally fits you, and then it sells as an engulfing candle, right? More sure called an industrial candle. So this is the first case. So I need to identify a sell pattern, right? Now, right now, I'm not seeing a sell. I see the M that happened here, and then the market came all the way back up, right? Formed the V. So from here, the market could literally pull back and continue to the upside, right? That's on the 4 hour. On the 1 hour time frame, right? This had looked nice in the beginning. We had a nice sell, and then we had a pullback. So everyone was thinking, you know what? This is going to sell once it pulls back to the 61.8. We're going to sell it. And I don't want you guys to trade like that. I want you guys to trade in a way that you say, look, at the 61.8% level, fib level, if you guys know about Fibonacci or whatever, right? But I don't see a sell pattern. I can't see a head and shoulders. I can't see a double top. I cannot see a reversal pattern that says sell me. So if you understand what it is I am telling you so far, I just want you to type in the chat box, clear. Right? I want you to type in the chat box, clear. Let me see who is saying clear here. Good. And I am guaranteeing you guys, I am guaranteeing you that if you follow what it is I am telling you, you will become more profitable. You would really recognize that your trades are hitting simply because you're looking for more than just quick money without learning what it is you're doing, right? And everything that you are doing right now, whether it might be a 9-to-5 job or whatever, all requires a skill set, right? And I want you to treat trading the same way. It requires for you to learn the skill. Once you learn the skill, trading becomes simpler, right? So, what it is that I am looking at this week. Now, for one, the DXY, right? Because this is key, right? Because we got a whole heap of news coming up tomorrow. So let's look at news first, right? So tonight in an hour you have odd news, but tomorrow you have payday. Let's call it that, right? You have payday tomorrow, right? So you got news from Euro to US dollar to Canadian dollar to New Zealand dollar to AUD to CNY, like to JPYs. You have a full field day tomorrow. So the market is going to be doing the most. And I just want to prepare you guys, right? In understanding that tomorrow is a field day. So before you even look at trading setups this week, look at Forex Factory. I have had a lot of persons that come to me and say, Coach, I went here at XYZ, but I ain't even realized that that pair had news that day, right? So I want you guys to just, I'm not saying that to not trade tomorrow, right? But I want you to trade clear patterns. Do not be in any trades that you cannot identify a clear pattern. Right? So I want you guys to trade a clear pattern. Am I trading the news? I am trading clear patterns, Ryan. Right? Good. So we know this. We know everything has news tomorrow. So US dollar, right? As you can see, a nice impulse. I get in a correction. It retests my daily support equals resistance. So let me go to daily here for you guys to see what it is that I knew this would have retest here. You can see that it is a clear neckline for the M pattern that it forms. So you can see the M here, right? Now, in M's and W's, the neckline is really important, right? So I just want you guys to make note of that now in your notepads. In M's and W's, the neckline is really important. And here is why, right? I want you guys to follow with me now. We're gonna identify it together. So, comes up here, comes down here, goes back up here, comes down, finish the M pattern, right? This is the neckline. Where did the trade pause? At the neckline, right? Let's do it again. Comes up here, comes down here, comes back up here, falls here, right? When the trade came back down, where did it pause? At the previous neckline of that M. So when I tell you that M's and W's, if you identify an M and W, right, that neckline is important. So everybody should be able to see we had the finishing of the M formation, trade came back and tested that neckline, right? And also to note that my trend line is here as well. So this is a fairly decent case. So where do I expect the XY to go? Well, there, right? But before it goes there, bear in mind, we got some necklines here, right? And I'm gonna identify them for you, make it easy for you, or easier. We got some necklines that we need to break through, right? So it might be a case that because there's so much US news tomorrow, the trade could actually come back down to support here, right? And then goes up here and forms a W. Like, who knows, right? Right? Who knows? So just let the trade set up for you. Well, that's why we mainly use the monitor. Euro, USD. No, again, right? I know we call out some sells for Euro USD, but like I say, if you can't identify a pattern, you do not sell. Because right now, there's no pattern here that is saying sell me. What I am seeing is patterns that simply say buy me now, right? Because everybody can see I have an impulse and a flag testing my neckline of my W. So notice when I told you just now, right, that necklines of F and W are important. I hope you wrote it down because we can clearly see the evidence here. This is a W. Trade actually impulse. So what you do if you guys watch Stevenson Lindor and he's telling you we're on a strong impulse, then flag, and then look to buy. Or we're on a strong impulse and then the flag and then look to sell, right? You're not necessarily trying to take this impulse because we don't know if the trade is going to continue all the way down. So this would have been the strong impulse, right? And then I want you to identify the pattern next to it. If you see a W or you see an M, you know, okay, I am going to identify my neckline. So this is my neckline here of my W. And when I line it up, it's actually previous support. Trade came down here, nice bullish flag, right? And we're looking for continuation. So where do I expect your USD to go? Up to here, right? Up to here. Coach, what it is that you choose here as a take profit zone? Well, we can see a lopsided W here, right? So let's identify it together. W, right? But it finished here, never came back up to here. Doesn't mean that this still isn't your neckline. Everybody should be able to see that the middle part is your neckline, right? So therefore, this becomes, I am looking at this area as a resistance, and then when I look left, I need to collect my data to ensure that it is true, support equals resistance, and I have a whole heap of rejection here. So where do I expect Euro JPY to go? Up to this area, right? Now, what else do you need to identify? Because we know long-term where it's going. So I need to be able to see some bullish patterns forming on the H4 or the 1 hour time frame. So 4 hour or the 1 hour time frame that says buy me. I can see this here on the 4 hour, right? But it has not broken my trend line. So let's do this. So we knew the neckline. So let's build the case together. Let's go through how we would enter this trade, right? So we can see the impulse, we can see the flag, and everybody should be able to see this, right? I identify my support equals resistance, so I knew where my flag was going to finish. I identify my support equals resistance above, so I know where I expect the trade to go long term, right? Good. So I come down to the 4 hour time frame. Now I need to draw a trend line to identify my flag, right? So I'm drawing a trend line to identify my flag, and I am not going through the bodies of the candle, right? So I've touched it here, but I have not actually went through the bodies of the candle, right? So right now, yes, I am looking for a buy. I need to see either it breaking my trend line, or if you are an aggressive trader, you probably would have gone in around here when it did a double bottom, right? To create that W pattern, you would have tried to get in as early as possible. You can, right? But if you're a conservative trader and you like to play it safe, right, you can wait until it breaks your trend line, and then it is a go, right? So you can decide what type of trader are you. Are you aggressive or are you conservative? If you're aggressive, then as soon as you see a double bottom here, or you have to see an inverted head and shoulders, you would probably enter at the double bottom or at the start of the right shoulder, right? To catch the move from the bottom heading up to the top until it breaks and continues, so you get early entry. Conservative traders should be most people on this call. Most of you are beginners, so most of you should not be aggressive traders, and therefore, because you are beginners and you don't totally understand patterns and trading and so on, what bounce back does and what bounce back enforces is that you draw a trend line to identify the current trend. In this case will be this flag, and you wait until you get a solid body candle breaking that trend line, and then you buy, right? Bounce back is there mainly to help you simplify your trading. Mainly to help you simplify your trading. For beginners, that's why we say that bounce back is a beginner's product, because we are telling you, look, you might not be able to identify a pattern, so you may not be able to take early opportunity on it, but we also want to give you another opportunity that is safe for you to enter the trade, so you can enter on the break of the trend line. No, right? No. We're coming up to the trend line, right? We're coming up to the trend line. And what I am asking myself now is, okay, suppose this continues up and touch my trend line. Am I going to enter for my buy then? No. Why? Because I mentioned to you guys that we need, if I am buying, yes, the bigger time frame tells me buy, but what is my entry time frame telling me? Does it scream buy me now? Or does it say, actually, this may pull back and I am not ready for that buy, right? So how do we identify this? Let me just go to Telegram, because I would have posted your cheat sheet, so nobody should be guessing. Nobody should be guessing what pattern the trades are forming, because you should all have your cheat sheets that I would have sent out, right? All have your cheat sheets here, and you also have it here as well. There we go. All right, so continuation bullish variant. There we go. That's what I am seeing on Euro USD right now. I am not trying, I am a beginner. I am not trying to predict no market. I am not trying to be no superhero or trying to be a coach or master trader quickly, right? I feel that I know it all. I am going to play it safe and take out my cheat sheet, right? Identify the pattern that the trade is telling me, and that's when I am going to trade, right? So this is what the 4-hour and the daily is showing us. We can clearly see the impulse and the corrective move. What does it say will happen after? We should get a move breaking out of there and continue to the upside, right? Now, next, when I come back here, what can I clearly see? A W pattern, right? So going back to my cheat sheet, what happens after W pattern, coach? Okay, so I see a W pattern here, and we tend to get a sell, right? So everybody can see when the W finish, we get a small sell where the trade tends to pull back before it continues to the upside, right? So we know that the trade needs to pull back before it continues to the upside. Now, looking at your cheat sheet, right? Come here. Oh, it doesn't do it. But anyway, looking at your cheat sheet, where is that pullback? And it's just to show you guys that some things is actually give you all the clues that you need can be right in front of you, but some of you guys be looking for some complicated stuff that is not necessary. The W is here. The neckline, we already identified the neckline is the middle point. When the trade comes back and it sells, where is it touching? The neckline, right? So that's notes that you need to be writing down. It is testing my neckline before it continues to the upside. Who saw that? Who saw that? Who saw that? Right? Cheat sheets are important. Who saw that? So when I look at Euro USD, I could see a clear W pattern forming. I am going to identify my neckline, right? You can do it as an area, right? I am going to let the trade play out. Why? Because I already know that based on my cheat sheet, after a W comes a small sell before we continue to the upside, right? No, remember, when you're identifying your neckline of your W as a support or resistance area, you need to drag it because you need to look left and make sure that the trade and the data before corresponds with this neckline. So am I identifying a support and resistance area? Right? You tell me. Comment inside of the chat and tell me if based on my neckline, I am identifying a support and resistance area. Good stuff. Good. So I'm glad that everybody could see that, right? So what I need you to do is just be patient now, right? Let the trade play out. You're going to see the retest, right? You're going to see the retest. Again, opportunity for an aggressive trader to say, all right, look, I'm going to enter on the retest of my neckline, right? Conservative trader is going to say, all right, look, I'm making notes. This is my watch list. I know that your USD is going to the upside. However, I am going to wait until it pulls back and then breaks my trend line, right? And then I'm going to enter. Now, if you're one of those persons that going to wait until it breaks your trend line, what I need you to do is look and see what is around your trend line. Because what you don't want is that the trade happens to break your trend line, doesn't break your previous highs, right? Remember, all support and resistance. doesn't break your previous highs, and you end up in some type of pattern, and then the trade sells, right? All of these are things of you building your case. It might sound complicated, but we are building a case that says buy me or sell me, right? We're building a case. We're helping you to become better traders, right? So another trade that I really love this week is USD CAD. Now, some W patterns are not going to be, you know, that evident to the eye. So we can clearly see here a reversal pattern. Now I'm gonna remove this and we're gonna analyze USD CAD from scratch, right? Good. So what do I see? Currently at daily support. So when you see Stevenson and all of us kind of sends out signals saying to buy USD CAD, you need to take the signal and go and do some analysis, because we just don't want you to become experts at copy and pasting. We don't, honestly, right? We are doing this to help you along the way, to hold your hand along the way, right? We want you to be able to take our signals, to take signals from the products and everything that the company is teaching you, and be able to formulate your own analysis and say, you know what, I agree with that buy, I agree with that sell, I have my confirmations, I am ready to jump in. So let's look at USD CAD, right? So currently at daily support. So what I want to know when it comes down here is what type of pattern it's forming in order to say, well, this is going to continue to sell, or this is going to reverse and head to buy, right? No. First thing I need to do, I could clearly see a pattern here in front of me. I identify my neckline. Yeah, I identifying my neckline, because more than likely trade is going to come here and pause, right? Good. So now that I have identified that, I am also going to identify my next daily resistance, because obviously, you know, is a possibility that it could come back up to these highs. We don't know, but we are going to let the market form the pattern and tell us. Next, right? Now we know that down here was our daily support. What pattern is forming to tell me if to buy or sell? I can clearly see a reversal pattern. So this is screaming loud, buy me now, right? That's what this was screaming to me last night or early hours of this morning, right? Because I can see it here, right? So everybody, if you could not understand this, right? I don't think is in this particular, I don't think that pattern is in this particular one, but there's another cheat sheet that I will send out to you guys that gives you that falling and rising wedge pattern, right? So going to USD CAD, you would have noticed what type of pattern this was to initiate the buy, right? So from here, I am just going to do my analysis, and I'm going to say, all right, so I already know a pattern forming for me to buy. I got daily support, right? I got daily support coming out to my 1 hour time frame. This is when you could utilize the 50 moving average line, right? And I used to tell you guys this tall and tell you, look, when price, once you get your confirmation, your pattern, and price breaks above your 50 moving average line, buy. If price breaks below your 50 moving average line, sell, right? But you need the pattern. Don't just be lazy and put a 50 moving average line or your trading view or your MetaTrader 4. And every time price breaks below and every time price breaks above, you're buying and selling. Because if you do that, you would realize too that there are some cases where price fades out, right? And you don't want to find yourself in that position, right? So you still building a case. I know that this is literally at my daily support, right? and price has started to range in an indecisive mode, right? It's no longer creating any lower lows nor any lower highs. So from here, I get a strong candle breaking. Notice this compared to this. This is not this. This is a strong candle breaking out of my zone here, right? Price is above my 50 moving average line with a very strong candle. I know from here it's time to buy, right? So when we call the buy stop on USD CAD and so on, and even if we call a buy stop, you don't necessarily have to enter a buy stop. You can say, all right, the takeover team called a buy stop on USD CAD. Let me write that down. That is part of my watch list for this week. So I'm going to do my analysis and so on, and I can even get an earlier entry than what the signals team, what the guys are sending out, and so on and so forth. But the beauty about the signals group is that they're giving you a watch list. So not only are we making it easy and simpler for you, we're giving you a watch list. And all you need to do now is either you could just copy and paste and become the expert of that, or you could decide, let me do my own analysis and start to, spice up things a bit, right? Good. So I don't want to go past 8 o'clock because you guys supposed to jump on to TTT. So let's finish this up. So USD CAD, right? USD CAD, I could see a type of W. As I say, it's not always going to be that obvious, but I can see a W here, right? So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I am going to generate my neckline, right? And it needs to line up. So let's say, for example, just now, I was coming here. But when I look left, I notice my support is still a little lower. So that's why I say, look left around your neckline, and you'll be able to identify your support equals resistance area where we expect the trade to retest. All right? If you're following me, please type clear in the chat box. I want to make sure that you guys are really understanding this information. Right? If you're following me, type clear in the chat box. Awesome. Good stuff. Right? So I'm looking now for USD CAD to pullback. Right? So I'm looking for pullback. Probably gonna come down here. And the thing is, the beauty about it, and you're gonna realize, you guys are gonna start to get real emotional about trading, because I just get emotional and I ain't scared to say so, right? When you actually draw up your analysis and you formulate your support and resistance for things like a retest, you drop to a lower time frame now, the time frame that you're going to use to enter the trade, and you see, hang on a minute, my structure where I expect the trade to come, my 50 moving average line is literally within this support equals resistance area. And then you get that aha moment and you be like, whoa, my analysis hitting though. Because my 50 moving average line is in my support equals resistance area. So which means I'm looking for this trade to come, test my 50 moving average line and go back up. So when you see we do a buy limit and a sell limit, this is when you can start to utilize limit orders, right? This is when you can start to utilize limit orders, right, guys? So things like this. So the entry on this is really dependent on if you're an aggressive trader or if you are a conservative trader, right? Understanding pullbacks, right? Try not to get into the trade when it's expensive. Expensive means you came here tonight and you realize coach says that USD CAD is going to buy, right? And the possibility of it continuing to this upside here is maybe high. So I'm going to buy no, right? I'm going to buy no. That's buying the trade expensive. Why? Because it's going to pull back. So you're going to end up in a drawdown, right? You're going to end up in a drawdown, right? Before before you go into profit again. So now is not the best time to buy USD CAD. Let it play out, let it do the retest. You get in when the price is cheap. Cheap means that you're getting in around the retest where you could see the rejection, right? Cheap could also mean you getting in when it retests your trend line. So when you get the breakout and the retest, or when it no breaks your trend line, you getting into the trade then and you taking it to the upside, right? That's getting into it cheap. We don't want to go and buy summer clothes when summer just start and clothes just release and everything is expensive. We're going Black Friday sales and we're going Christmas and Boxing Day sales and so on. We want to get price when it's cheap. We need to treat trading the same way as well. Right, guys? So to wrap it up tonight, hopefully I would have given you, I would have taught you something and you would have received nuggets from my calls. I'm going to send out the analysis. So I'm going to put together the different trades that I'm expecting to move for this week. So I'm going to send those out in the Telegram group chat, right? And you guys could actually, you know, utilize those, right? But you know how we end the call. You know how we end the call. If you have received value from my call tonight, if you have received nuggets, if you think that what I've taught you tonight was useful, I want you to type pips in the chat box. I want you to light up the chat box and type pips, 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 pips. Let me go, right? Because this week and here onward, we are not just creating 6- and 7-figure earners, right? We're creating master traders of the charts. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that you guys winning, winning, winning all the time in every single signal that is sent out. You could go and do your own analysis and listen to me, guys. You guys can take this to the moon. I am telling you, right? So guys, I want to thank you so much. Remember to jump onto the TTT call happening at 8 p.m. Guys, I will see you all next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.